Icebergs come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are tall and thin while others are short and wide. Some can even stretch for miles. The size of an iceberg is largely dependent on the rate of melting. Smaller chunks, which measure up to 2 meters in height, are often made up of large pieces of debris that fell off a larger iceberg. The larger icebergs can stretch up to several hundred meters in length, although the tallest ones can reach up to 600 meters. Much of an iceberg's size is determined by how much of it is submerged underwater. Glaciers and shelf ice can both contribute to the size of an iceberg, making them much larger than the ones that can be seen above water. Usually, the icebergs that are seen above water are between 2 and 4 meters in height. Despite their relatively small size, they still pose a serious threat to shipping and can be quite a hazard to vessels passing by. Of course, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Most of it is beneath the surface, where it is essentially invisible to the naked eye. The size of an iceberg can also depend on how quickly it can break away from an ice shelf or past a certain point. This can depend on a number of factors, such as the current, ocean temperature, and how much of the ice is exposed to air. Some icebergs are composed of various materials, such as snow, ice, rocks, and even dirt, making them much larger and heavier. Because of their irregular shapes, different sized icebergs can appear in the same area due to the different processes that were used in their formation. The size of the icebergs can also cause them to move differently than those of the same size. Larger pieces will be more likely to drift slowly, while smaller pieces may move faster. Many of the icebergs in the Arctic are usually quite small, measuring only a few meters in length. In Antarctica, icebergs tend to be larger in size, measuring up to several hundred meters in length and width. The largest iceberg on record was approximately the size of the state of Rhode Island. It is estimated to have been over 400 kilometers long, with a surface area of 5,800 kilometers squared. The weight of an iceberg can also vary depending on the size and composition. Smaller icebergs can range from a few thousand to a few 100,000 tons, while the larger ones can weigh up to millions of tons. The shape and size of an iceberg can change over time as a result of the environment these structures are in. For example, the melting of a part of the berg can cause the shape of the structure to become more irregular. As a result of these changes, icebergs that appear to be the same size can actually be quite different internally. In addition, the shape of an iceberg can also be determined by the speed and direction of the currents and winds in the area. Icebergs of various sizes can be found all over the world, although most are found in the oceans near the North and South Poles. These structures can provide beautiful scenery for those who take the time to look. The different shapes and sizes of these icebergs can also be used as a way to understand the environment, as they are subject to melting, drifting, and changes in composition. The size of an iceberg can be used as an indication of how much danger it can pose to ships in the area, which is why it is important to pay attention to these structures. Scientists use the size of icebergs to monitor the environment and keep an eye on the ocean temperatures that can affect them. Understanding the different sizes of icebergs can also help people to gain more insight into how they form, what makes them move, and even how to protect ships from them. Being aware of the sizes of icebergs can also help in predicting any potential hazards that could arise. Icebergs come in many different shapes and sizes, with some of the smallest measuring only 2 meters in height.